wonderful guest who taught us everything about French astronomy, our favorite ratatouille. But today, things are going to be a little different. Today's tutorial is going to be about commencement speeches. Do you know what is it? Do you know that we watch them constantly, but we don't recognize them as commencement speeches? Our guest is a teacher of English graduated for PUCV, who is an expert in today's topic, commencement speeches. Say welcome to Fernanda Bock!
Hi everybody.
Hello Fernie, how are you? Thank you for coming to How You Do It show.
Hi fam, I'm glad. I'm very happy to be here and thank you so much for the invitation.
So Fernie, we are here to talk about commencement speeches. What can you tell us about them? Oh man, what now? Sorry, I'm so sorry Fernie. This is our musical friend who always interrupts us.
Hello beautiful. Hi, hello you. I know everything about commencement speeches. Oh, really? Why don't you help me with that then?
No.
Yay!
Okay, so Mimi, can you tell us what do you know about commencement speeches?
A commencement speech is a speech given to graduating students, generally at American universities. The person giving such a speech is known as commencement speaker. Very commonly, universities will invite politicians, important citizens, or other noted speakers to come and address the graduating class. You're so right, Mimi. You impress me. You can't judge a book for its cover, friend. Also, it's important to mention that a commencement speech is less bound by the structure found in other forms of public address, like, for instance, wedding speeches. The speaker, accordingly, enjoys a unique freedom to express him or herself. Actually, a speechwriter, Anthony Triangle, says, a commencement speech simply is an opportunity to share your experience, values, and advice. The precise form is up to you. This affords the speaker a platform to say amazing, unlimited things.
Wow, so what's important for you people at home to know about this kind of speech? Well, because through a commencement speech, you can get such a great piece of life advice to take into consideration. Besides, they are most of the time very funny and entertaining to watch and hear. Moreover, since it is such an interesting topic for y'all, maybe it helps us to increase today's ranking.
Don't you dare to turn off the TV or change the channel. You're right, girls. This is the perfect opportunity for you to learn all the basics about commencement speeches.
That's right, you'll be expert after today's tutorial.
Ha! That's kind of exaggerated, I think. Anyway, after today at least you'll know what is a commencement speech. And actually, I do know what's the purpose because I know everything.
Oh, really? So what is it?
Oh, it's very simple. The purpose of this genre is to inspire and motivate graduated students to follow their dreams and somehow give them a life lesson that will be useful as an advice for their future. However, the ultimate purpose is to persuade them that no matter what, they can have a successful and happy life.
Nice, okay. I have one more question. Why do commencement speeches exist?
Mimi, would you like to answer that? Of course, my lady. Well, I love what Gary Trudeau, a famous cartoonist by the way, says about commencement speeches. According to him, commencement speeches were invented largely in the belief that outgoing college students should never be released into the world until they have been properly sedated. Good one. Wouldn't expect less coming from you. But I have to clarify that commencement speeches were actually born because of the institution's necessities of educating their students for the last time and release them into the real world with an inspiring and motivating and useful lesson for their future. Furthermore, the American society demands success among their inhabitants. Therefore, commencement speeches are given by renowned people who have contributed in some way to the country.
So, in that sense, a successful person giving such a speech will give to the institution more prestige and in comparison to the ones that don't invite that quality of speakers. Having that in mind, we can conclude that the popularity and the numbers will increase, which is also a necessity for the university.
That's right.
Having said that, let's start with the tutorial.
Hey, Mimi, why don't you help me with the beginning of the tutorial?
Hell yeah!
Well, I think you all need to know basics. Let's start by saying that they are obviously monologic oral messages, meaning that only one person speaks, as they are public speeches. The speaker plans his or her speech with anticipation, There are always exceptions though. Besides, the speaker is a person who has achieved a certain level of career success to give you a speech telling life lesson, or in other words, a rock star! Am I right, Fermi?
Absolutely right, Mimi. For example, we can find speeches given by Jim Carrey or Ellen DeGeneres. And as you could hear me, both of them are famous comedians. So don't think that this is a very formal ceremony in which nobody can laugh. The language used is rather informal. It's important to mention that the relationship between the hearers and the speaker is distant and, of course, asymmetric.
Oh, I see. And what about the topics? What should a commencement speech comprise?
Well, there is a wide variety of topics. You have topics such as the future, of course, life choices, success,
Life advices, changes, fears, dealing with the failure, words of wisdom, lesson learned, ideas on how to be successful, insight on how to be happy, and what really matters in life, among others.
Yeah, they're kind of serious topics. I thought commencement speech was only a funny thing, but well...
Oh, they are. Don't misunderstand me. Commencement speeches use a very enthusiastic and humorous tone. Actually, they tell lots of jokes and anecdotes during their speeches. Yet, you have to keep in mind that all people are different, and some may be funnier than others. Anyhow, all the speeches that I've seen throughout my career have something interesting to see and hear, no matter the tone.
We may watch some examples. Let's take a look to those videos.
I thought, what if they find out I'm gay, then they'll never watch, and this was a long time ago. This was when we just had white presidents. But anyway, this was back many years ago.
I went to a public high school on Long Island, Syosset High School. Ooh, hello, Syosset. The girls I went to school with had Prada bags and flat-ironed hair.
Great videos! I couldn't help noticing the interaction of the speaker with his audience.
Very good for you to say that, Fan. That interaction that you mentioned has a specific name. It is called norms of interaction, and they refer to what is expected from the speaker and the audience. But since commencement speeches are monological, the social interaction is mainly focused on the role of the speaker.
Yes, according to Hamilton, it is expected from the speaker to ensure effectiveness of the speech. For that, you have to keep the following advices in mind. Analyze your audience carefully. Don't talk down to either gender, but use a variety of examples to keep the attention of all the audience members to make the speech more familiar. Make sure your vocabulary is respectful, not discriminating any social group, since it could affect the audience attention.
Oh, and motivation. Why? Because you have to know your audience well enough to hook them and try to make them perceive that the topic has a personal values which will help them in life.
You won't stop surprising me, guys. To complement what you have said, I should add that in the special case of commencement speeches, what is expected from the speaker is for him or her to memorialize the occasion, compelling and inspiring with a message. Also, he or she is supposed to give a life advice. The speaker should know something about the graduates and their achievements. Also, he has to create an identification between him and the audience.
So far, we've seen more characteristics that are common for all commencement speeches. Now we will go deeper in our tutorial. Let's start by how organize your speech. As in almost everything, there are some steps to follow.
Yes, commencement speeches are organized with a basic structure. That means introduction, body, and conclusion.
Correct. We could say that those are the three principal steps to follow. I'll better explain to clarify that idea. So now, regarding the introduction of the speech, we have some common steps. Let's watch a video in which you will recognize some of them.
I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from...
See, in the first part of the commencement speech, they 1. Say thanks for the invitation, 2. Congratulate the students, 3. Tell some jokes, and 4. Present somehow what is the speech going to be about. Now, regarding the body...
Oh, I knew a bit about that.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you tell us?
Well, in the body, you can find that most of the time, the steps that the speaker will follow are: first, tell the student stories or anecdotes about him or herself. Most of the time, these stories are about past anecdotes that have crucial consequences in the future of the speaker. It usually
includes an important amount of metaphors like this.
No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet, death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life.
And to tell jokes. Jokes are also an important part of the commencement speech.
I had to break the word down myself to find out the meaning. Commencement. Common and cement. Common cement.
As Roger Axel explains in his book, Do's and Taboos of Public Speaking, it is helpful, in spite of all these obstacles, to incorporate humor into your different presentations. The reason is simple. People like to laugh. As babies, we learn to laugh before we learn to talk.
Wow, that's super good! Now, I suppose that Mimí has something to say about the steps that are usually followed in the conclusion. Of course I have. In the conclusion, they first refer back to their past anecdotes to tell the audience about their present, and invite them usually to never give up, always fight, never surrender to achieve success. And second, they emphasize their previous advices and give a closure to motivate the students, as you can see here.
So to conclude my conclusion that I previously concluded in the common cement speech, I guess what I'm trying to say is life is like one big Mardi Gras, but instead of showing your boobs, show people your brain. And if they like what they see, you'll have more beads than you know what to do with. And you'll be drunk most of the time. So to the Katrina class of 2009, I say congratulations, and if you don't remember a thing I said today, remember this. You're gonna be okay.
Well, now that we have covered the main steps to give a commencement speech, there are some other characteristics that are super important to mention. These are the voice characteristics and the symbols and signs which are present while talking.
Oh, I've noticed some voice characteristics. Actually, I've heard that the speaker has to make him or herself understood. Therefore, the volume of speech in general should be medium, as they were talking face to face with another person since they talked into a microphone for 15 to 30 minutes. So this part of the ceremony might be pleasant to hear. Moreover, the speaker has to flow the speech relaxed and natural. At the moment of emphasizing an important point of speech, such as the funniest part of the anecdote, or the range of pitch should be raised so that the rhythm changes, therefore the volume increases. The most relevant points of the speech have to be given clearly, so this cannot be said too fast neither too slow. In conclusion, the speaker is constantly playing with his voice, as you may see in the following bit.
Oh my goodness! I'm at Harvard! Wow! To President Faust, my fellow honorands, Carl, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Now, regarding the use of time, body, space, and other features of the commencement speech, I have a lot of doubts.
As we saw in previous videos, the speakers do not move too much as they don't have too much space.
Generous or not, we can change the course of someone's life.
They are limited by the podium. That's why they have to use other sources to engage the audience, such the eyes, their voice, their hands, or their posture. And also, they have to take into account the time when speaking, let people laugh or applause, for instance. Let's see a short clip in which we will appreciate some of these features.
Before we move on, the world outside of Harvard has asked me to make a quick announcement. The following majors are apparently useless as of tomorrow: history, literature, all things related to art, social studies, East Asian studies.
We can see there that he uses his arms and fingers to emphasize what he is telling to the audience. Nonetheless, as he is reading, there isn't too much eye contact with the audience, but that is countered with the use of his hands. Steve Jobs, for instance, makes more eye contact than Andy Samberg, but uses less body movement. Let's see a mini clip.
Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path.
What about the way they speak, like grammar and all that stuff?
Yes, that's the last part of the tutorial, right?
Yeah, last but not least. Oh, one thing that I noticed is that they don't use like such complex structures to speak. They look quite simple. Yes, that's because since it is not the form formal speech, orators allow themselves to use some slangs or they short some words. Let's see an example.
As well as enabling the students through transcendental meditation and ancient Vedic knowledge to slack off twice a day for an hour and a half.
I see. I didn't notice that. They use very simple English.
I love this tutorial!
Thank you, Mimi. Well, my friends, after had a magistral class about commencement speech, could you realize how important is this type of speech in USA? How good influence to graduates to take decisions about their lives? It's important to emphasize that those speeches can be listened by anyone because they are available on the internet. So, in some way, it will contribute to your lives too. Bernie, thank you very much. Again.
Of course, it was a pleasure to share my knowledge with you and with the audience. Thank you for inviting me.
You are welcome whenever you want to come to How You Do It. Now, my dear viewers, remember, we meet again next Tuesday. Same place, same time, same channel. But we will have a amazing couple as our guests. Nana Pumbaa, they will